Today we're going to talk about worsening menopause symptoms like belly fat, hot flashes, weight gain. Something about your diet might be to blame. So if you're new to this channel, hello, I'm Dr. Lori Marbus. I am a board-certified family and lifestyle medicine physician and happy to see you here. And please hit subscribe, and I hope you find this helpful. So let's dive right into the science. First of all, let's talk about what I mean by parts of the diet that might be to blame. And, sometimes people think, oh, we can have some of those processed foods that we see on the shelves of our grocery store. But I would argue that the more you consume, the worse your symptoms might get. So what I'm talking about is ultra processed foods. And there's several mechanisms that can actually worsen your symptoms. And I'm going to go through what those are. There's 5 of them to speak of. And then, give you some ideas and things what you can do to improve it. So first of all, we have increased inflammation. So remember, ultra-processed foods often contain high levels of refined sugars, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives, right? So those ingredients can trigger an inflammatory response in the body by increasing the production of what we call pro-inflammatory cytokines. Now, what's happening inside the body? Well, let's talk about hot flashes and night sweats. Inflammation can exacerbate what we call vasomotor symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats by affecting this little part of our brain called the hypothalamus. Now, that part of the brain regulates body temperature. You can also get joint pain, right? So inflammatory foods can worsen joint pain and stiffness, and often you'll see that actually joint pain was one of the things that really clued me in. But you can see these joint pain symptoms arise during menopause and perimenopause. And remember, promoting inflammatory processes in the joints can occur from eating these ultra-processed foods. I've certainly seen it in patients who deal with autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis when they eat, even just, I use some people like, oh, it's a pretty decent processed food. They still have issues. So just paying attention to the body is really important here, especially when it talks about inflammation. Next is hormonal imbalance, right? So really what's going on here? So ultra-processed foods contain what we call endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, such as BPA and some others. Now, these substances can interfere with the body's natural hormone regulation. And what can happen to you? Well, you might be noticing mood swings and depression. So hormonal imbalances can affect what we call neurotransmitter levels in the brain. And that can lead to mood swings, anxiety, depression. And then these psychological symptoms are often heightened during menopause due to those fluctuating hormones already. So we have the estrogen, the progesterone going crazy, and then we add to it these other things. And it's just so important that we pay attention to what's going on. Next are blood sugar spikes and weight gain, right? So what's going on here with ultra-processed foods is, remember, they are high in refined carbohydrates and sugars, and that leads to rapid increases in blood glucose levels, followed by sharp drops. And then that cycle of spikes and crashes can contribute to what we describe as insulin resistance and weight gain. So one thing to know, even if you're eating a fairly decent and healthy diet, you absolutely can drive your blood sugar way outside of what is considered normal. And so I would pay attention to this. If you haven't worn a CGM, it might be something to consider. And I'll jump onto that here in a minute. But it's really important to understand that you are absolutely are at risk of having this happen to you, even if you're quote unquote pretty healthy. When you drink your refined sugary, these really carbohydrated, sugary drinks like Coca-Colas and different things, it absolutely will have an effect. So what's going on physiologically? You might see fatigue and irritability. So the fluctuations of blood sugars can cause symptoms such as, that just difficulty concentrating, and you're wondering why you're tired. And it can be particularly disruptive during menopause when energy levels are already affected, right? We're not sleeping well because we have hot flashes and night sweats and such. Next, you'll see increased severity of hot flashes, right? Excess weight, particularly abdominal fat, I've talked about this, is visceral fat, is associated with more severe hot flashes. And then insulin resistance, through a whole set of different mechanisms, can exacerbate this issue by affecting the estrogen metabolism, which affects insulin resistance, which causes worsening inflammation. And it's a big vicious circle. Number 4 is poor nutritional profile, right? So ultra-processed foods are very low in essential nutrients like vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that are crucial for maintaining overall health. And what's going to happen to you? Well, you may notice a few things like in your skin and hair. Nutrient deficiencies can lead to dry skin and hair, really common complaints during menopause due to decreased collagen production. Next, you're going to have worsening sleep, right? So lack of nutrients like magnesium and vitamin B6 can affect your sleep quality and exacerbate insomnia, which is already an issue during menopause. And finally, let's talk about bone health, right? So calcium and vitamin D deficiencies, often resulting from poor dietary habits, can accelerate your bone density during menopause, especially in that perimenopausal phase. You'll see an acceleration of bone loss, which is crazy to think about. And finally, let's talk about the psychological impact, right? So the consumption of ultra-processed foods has been linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety due, one, to their low nutritional value and high content of unhealthy fats and sugars, which can often lead to your brain dysfunction, right? You don't feel well, you can't concentrate. So what do you see? What are your symptoms? Depression, anxiety, right? So poor diet quality can lead to alterations in brain function and structure, and that can really contribute to mental health issues. Very, very problematic during menopause when women are more susceptible to mood disorders already because of these hormonal changes. So, I mean, just look at children who get, if we give them sugary foods and we wonder why they have tantrums and things. Well, I think sometimes women going through perimenopause, menopause might have an inner child that might want to have a tantrum on occasion. Anyway, so what can we do about it? I think there's a really important way that when you need to assess what's going on in your own body. And I walk through this. I have a framework I use. It's 5 steps to master your metabolism and lose weight. And I also speak to 4 biggest mistakes that people make on their weight loss journey. It's a free masterclass. You can see the link in the description below or in the bio above if you're on Instagram. So I hope you found this helpful, but dive deeper. If you want to go deeper and understand what to do and how to do it, look at that free masterclass, and I will be back next time. And thanks for watching, everyone. As always, I'm sending you love, joy, peace, and always healing, because all of us need more healing every single day in our lives. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. And please, please, please subscribe, comment below. I read every single comment, and I try to respond to as many as I can. I absolutely so appreciate you being here. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, everyone.